the Detroit Lions have officially traded David Montgomery to the Houston Texans for a 4th rounder this year and a 7th rounder next year. Now, what does this mean for both teams? Well, let's start off straight. The Houston Texans are the winners as this current moment right now because they are getting one of the best power backs in the NFL, and they are also breaking up one of the best 1-2 duos in the NFL with Jahmyr Gibbs, also known as Sonic by a couple people, and then you had David Montgomery, who is known by Knuckles in the 1-2 pairing when it comes to this. Now, I don't really know what Detroit is doing. I'm assuming that Detroit are trading David Montgomery to save cap space so they could still build around this roster because Detroit does have a few, holes they need to fill in order to come back and trying to compete for the NFC title next year, because them not making playoffs this year was definitely a disappointment in the general sense. But what does this mean for Dave Montgomery? Well, this is going to be the first time that he's going to be playing outside of the NFC, because in his 7-year career total heading into year 8, he's played 4 seasons with the Chicago Bears and 3 seasons in Detroit. So that means he's always played in the NFC North ever since he started his career. But now he's going to be going from the North to the South. He's going to be going from Chicago and Detroit to Houston, Texas. And like I said, in his time there, he had 1,400 attempts, 6,115 yards. He had 59 touchdowns. And one of the things that I want to say when it came to David Montgomery, basically simple standpoint, every time I watched David Montgomery this season, if he was ever on the 1 to 2 yard line, possibly even 3 or 4, there's a 95% chance that David Montgomery was going to be getting a touchdown if he was on that line. He and him and Derrick Henry were always 2 guys, and I know a lot of my cousins were watching these football games with me, and they can agree. David Montgomery and Derrick Henry are 2 running backs where if you are on the 1 or 2 yard line, it is almost a guarantee that they get a touchdown. But the one thing that I was very surprised with when it came to this season, David Montgomery did not have a receiving touchdown. And I feel like this season, in terms of his production, when it came to this year compared to last year, he had a lot more receiving yards compared to last season, and yet he still didn't get a touchdown? That completely blows my mind. But still, the Houston Texans are the winners of this trade as of this current standpoint right now. Why? Detroit is losing one of, their 1-2 running back systems, and Houston is getting a experienced running back heading into the prime of his career because he's about 27 or 28 years old, which means he has at least 2 to 3 years left before a running back usually hits the decline. And not only that, if they're going to be keeping Nick Chubb, they're going to have a trio running back system because Woody Marks, even though this is his technically first season, picking up, yardage, Woody Marks looked good in the games that he was good. All they have to do is just really invest in their offensive line. And then Houston has a running back system where they have Woody Marks, where they have David Montgomery, and where you have Nick Chubb. I can't even lie to you guys. That's going to be a scary trio for the NFL. And I'm also not mentioning Joe Mixon, but I'm assuming that the Houston Texans are going to be releasing or trading Joe Mixon, considering he has a major injury that he's been dealing with for the past season. So in terms of this David Montgomery to the Houston Texans deal, I like it for the Houston Texans, and I still don't know how to feel because I want to see what Detroit are going to do in free agency. If Detroit goes out and picks up a good backup running back to be Jahmyr Gibbs, deputy, then I think it's a fair trade. But at the current moment right now, getting David Montgomery for a 4th round pick, it feels like a steal for the Houston Texans.